Alright, so one of the questions that I have for everybody is, what do you believe the thinnest wrench is that's been ever made? Because there are some tight spaces you're going to get into. If you work on diesels, if you're working with fuel lines, if you're working on old cars, you're going to need a super thin wrench from time to time. It's so hard to find them, so what do we end up doing? We end up finding an old wrench, something like this, that we end up taking to the grinding wheel and smoothing it down to eventually we make it thin enough to fit in the area that we need to make it thin enough. But then you have some expensive wrenches like this that you don't really want to do that to, so you need to have a cheaper wrench like this that maybe you might want to do it to. Maybe not. Maybe you love the old made in USA Craftsman wrenches and now you got to find a cheaper one. So then you find something that's a Pittsburgh or something like that. And you don't want to do that because you got this flex head and it's been phenomenal and you don't want to do that either. Well, guess what? I think I have found the solution to all of our problems when it comes to ultra thin wrenching. Boom! Husky has just come out with this new product, the 6-piece thin head access wrench set. I believe these are some of the thinnest wrenches that I have ever come into contact with. It is amazing to see how truly thin they are in comparison to some of the other competitors out there. These things will get into some really tight spaces, and I believe this is some new technology that we cannot just shirk our shoulder over. Also, they give you such a great sizing thing here. Look, it covers 10-12, 13-14, 15-17, 7/16 and 3/8, 9/16 and ½ inch, 5/8 and 11/16. They give you all the most common sizes that you would run into possibly when it comes to power steering lines, diesel fuel lines, you name it, they've covered it. Okay, so this is phenomenal. Okay, but you're asking me, well, how much thinner, really, could it truly be outside of just looks? Well, I do not currently have an outside micrometer. I do have this Fowler outside brake rotor micrometer that I can thin down to quite a bit. And I'm hoping I can get it thin enough to show you just how thin these things are. Give me a moment to spin it down. Alright, so let's start somewhere in there with the Craftsman. Okay, we need to back it out a little. So the Craftsman comes in at 0.288 thousandths. The Pittsburgh flex head ratchet, a bit thicker, 0.292 thousandths of an inch. The snap-on save-a-knuckle stubby, 0.2, I'm going to say 30, no, 0.2, I'm going to say 90, 0.290 on that. Now, these were all 15 millimeter. So let's go 15 millimeter with the Husky Ultra Thin combination open-end wrench. I say combination because they do offer you multiple sizes. Okay, I only go down to 0.244 before this outside micrometer is maxed out, and it is less than that. So, less than 1/4 of an inch. If I had to guess, I'd say we're pretty close to about a 1/16 of an inch, if that, in thickness. Now, these other three, Craftsman made in USA, Pittsburgh flex head, and snap-on stubby, those all fit in between this outside brake rotor micrometer, and we didn't even get halfway there with the ultra thin style Huskies. I think these things are phenomenal. It's new wave technology. I'm excited to try them out long term and see what happens with these. 2 thumbs up to Husky for coming out with this concept, because most of us are getting tired of trying to grind down a perfectly good wrench. And the fact is if we can actually trust something like this to actually get the job done, and we don't have to worry about taking some of our favorite combination wrenches or ratchet wrenches or anything and grinding them down to make it work, I think they just made a step in the right direction. I haven't seen any other tool company do this just yet. You guys might disagree with me. You might know something that I don't know. Feel free to leave it down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching my channel. We'll see you next time. Deuces.